Hey everybody, welcome back to DeHaven Family Farm. Today we're going to work a little bit on this cultivator project. If you remember from the video that I showed when I got the cultivator, if you haven't seen that, I'll try and remember to put a link up there. But one of the uses that we're going to use this for is to hopefully help us to pick up the plastic that we grow our pumpkin plants on and other vegetables on. So the first step to making that happen is taking off some of these extra cultivators. We only need 2 on there, so we're going to take 4 of them off. All right, we got all those off, except for the 2 we're going to keep. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head down the field and actually go drive over one of the plastic rows, and we'll see how to adjust these and what kind of stuff we may have to fabricate to make sure they stay in that position, because these are held, you can see the tabs of these brackets, and that keeps this from turning while you're cultivating. But we're going to actually want it to be able to turn and stay in a certain position, so I may have to fabricate something. That's why we're doing kind of a test run here. So let's head down the field and see where we're at. Okay, so we're down here straddling one of the plastic rows that needs to come up. So this is the general idea here. We'll give you a close-up of what we're trying to accomplish. You can see the plastic goes down, keeps going down, and there's all of this vegetation here, and we need to get this point down underneath this row of plastic, and that way what it'll do is it'll lift the plastic up and knock all this vegetation off, and then we can come along by hand and just roll up the plastic, or sometimes we sit in the back of the gator and one person drives. But so what I need to work on now is the fine-tuning of trying to see where these points need to go. Right now I took the brackets out that hold them straight. These little guys that hold this cultivator arm straight, I took those off so that I could angle these, and I'm not sure if these points are in close enough to the row. Right now I'm in the closest hole that I have pre-drilled already, so I'm thinking what I may do is the first modification is just take and drill another hole on each side, which will move that cultivator in further, which I think is what we're going to have to do. So I got some new holes drilled right here, and we ended up moving the cultivators up. There was a row of holes there. You can see the dirt there. We did give this a test run yesterday to try it out on the plastic. I didn't videotape it because we were kind of fidgeting with the thing just to see how well it was going to work. And it doesn't work too bad. I think one thing that needs to be done is the cultivators need to be swung backwards just a hair more, so that we get a little bit more lift on that curve. I didn't want them back too far because I don't want it digging into the plastic. I just kind of want to lift the plastic up a little bit. So overall, it was a good first try. The other thing was, my wife was kind of walking along and grabbing the plastic and making sure it was loose and whatnot as we were going down the row. So we decided, instead of walking over acres and acres of plastic, that we would put a seat on the back that someone can sit and kind of grab the plastic. If it gets stuck, we'll stop quick. Maybe have a hoe or shovel on board, quick loosen it up and kind of keep going. So I was able to get this cheap seat here at a local equipment dealer, 20 bucks for the seat. And working on my brackets here, I got things done here basically. Obviously that's crooked and not, centered, bolted on there, but that's kind of what it's going to be back here. Again, we'll, it won't be so crooked, but we'll have a little chair in the back that somebody can sit on and kind of help with the plastic. So that's what I've been working on here today, doing some heavy angles, and I just got all those drilled out and whatnot here. I had this, I had ordered this really thick angle iron you can see here for a project, and I was gonna have some extra anyway. But so there was 3 holes here in the cultivator already. I'm not sure what they were for, extra bolts or something, I have no idea. So I utilized one of them so I didn't have to drill 2 holes, and I did have to drill out a hole here. So what that means is the seat is off center by about 2 inches or whatever, and I don't think that's going to make one bit of difference for the project. So I'm going to take these guys off, clean them up, prime them, and paint them. They'll be ready to go on. And the only other thing I'm going to do with my full weight on the out end, out edges of these bars, I do notice, even though this is super, super heavy duty stuff here, I do notice just a little bit of a wiggle on this angle iron. So I think what I'm going to do is cut another piece of this angle iron, and we're going to go from here to here, and we're just going to weld a piece right in there, and that will stop the twist. The angle iron isn't sagging down, it's just twisting a little bit, and by welding a piece from here to here, I'll stop that twist. Okay, so the seat is on. I added the extra brace here. I had some Kubota orange paint that almost matches perfectly. On camera, you probably can't tell the difference, but there is just a slight difference. I just welded that guy in there, nothing too fancy, but it helps support that. I swung these back just a little bit on each side, and the seat brackets will show you. Everything is, it looks black because I primed and painted everything. Just bolted on there with some big bolts there in the back. Take the seat off. There's just, I don't know if you can see the top of a bolt head there and one bolt head over there, and the seat pops right off. If we don't need it, no big deal, and good to go. So the next clip you'll see is this working in the field. All right, guys, so we finished the row. The first half of the footage of the row that you saw, the plastic had stayed in place, much like this row, where it was fully covering the row. The second half of this row, last year the wind had gotten a hold of it after the crop. Like I said, this land was fallow last year. We didn't do anything with it. So the wind got a hold of it and blew it all kind of to one side. And that's part of the challenge of picking it up now, is all of this growth, the plastic is caught down in there. So we need to loosen it to be able to get it out. So overall, it worked pretty well, our final adjustments. Let me kind of show you here. Right now, the cultivator's up in the air. The seat works nice, multiple reasons. Actually, having somebody sitting there puts a little weight on the cultivators, and that helped dig in a little bit and actually drag some of the plastic with us instead of having to pull it all by hand. And we have added just a little clamp here, and we're going to get a longer one and put another one on the other side. And we were just kind of hooking the plastic as we go. This is the mess that we had left over. There's the drip tape and the plastic from the row. It's all cleaned up now, nice and neat. We did have a hoe on here just in case we needed to stop and loosen a piece by hand. But overall, putting the seat on there has made a huge difference. We got our adjustments all in place, and this is a huge time saver. You know, getting everything set up and tweaked here to do this by hand, you know, we would have had to have gone through by hand with a hoe, and you know, all along the edge here we would have had to have dug out. And this is about 250 feet from one end to the other, and there's all these multiple rows, so we would have been here for days getting this cleaned up. Probably would have spent hours on this row instead of about 15 minutes. But I think our process will get faster now that we're getting things dialed in. So overall, I'm very happy with the project. If anybody else is using plastic, it does work very well for weed control right around your plants, vegetables. Like I said, we had pumpkins here. It really works well. It's just we've always had the issue of trying to get it cleaned up efficiently. So you know, doing this, you know, I think we have about $500 in this whole setup here: the cultivator, the seat, the steel for the modifications that I made and everything. We have about $500 into this. And like I said, there is a machine offered by the company that we bought the plastic layer from, but it's thousands of dollars, and we just don't have thousands of dollars to spend. So this is the next choice. And then after we're done with this, we can transform it back into a regular cultivator and use it to cultivate vegetables, because that's what this whole area is going to be. Acres and acres of vegetables that will be for sale this year. So I hope you guys found this video interesting. It was something a little bit different. There's not a lot of farmers out there growing on plastic. It's a great organic sort of method for weed control. Normally we'll rototill between the rows to keep the weeds down until the pumpkins spread, so we don't spray you know, any herbicides or anything. So again, it's something a little bit different. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions about the build, comments, leave them down below. Stay tuned for future videos on our second channel, Little Red Farmstead. There's going to be a lot of planting videos and vegetable care. I'm sure we're going to have pest issues to deal with and whatnot. So there's going to be a lot of stuff on that channel. So go subscribe over there if you want to see more of the vegetable planting in this area. And subscribe to this channel, because we have haymaking, we have some spraying coming up. We have some cool, there's a few projects, fabrication projects coming up, so you don't want to miss those. So subscribe to this channel too, please. Give us a thumbs up. I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.